The Premier League title race is here, but who's actually going to win it? Every season, millions of fans make predictions before a single ball is kicked. Some people think Manchester City will dominate again. Others believe Arsenal are finally ready to build a dynasty. And then there are the dark horses, clubs capable of shocking everyone. Today, I'm giving you my Premier League title prediction for the 2026-27 season. I've narrowed it down into 3 clubs, that being Arsenal, Manchester City, and one surprise contender that I don't think enough people are talking about, Chelsea. I'll explain why I think Arsenal are slight favorites, why you can never count Manchester City out, and why Chelsea have an outside chance if everything clicks. Let's get started right into the first club. The first club is Arsenal, my favorites to win the league, about 40%. If I had to choose one team to lift the Premier League trophy this season, my safest option is Arsenal. Why? Because they're no longer a team chasing a title. They're now a team that knows how to win it. Winning your first Premier League title is incredibly difficult. Defending it is a completely different challenge. But Arsenal now understand what it takes to perform over 38 matches. One of their biggest strengths is balance. They don't just have great attack, they don't just have great defense. They're now one of the few teams in Europe that are elite at both. Under Mikel Arteta, Arsenal have become one of the most organized pressing teams in football. They defend aggressively, dominated possession, and can control games against both weaker and stronger opponents. Another reason I'm backing Arsenal is squad depth. Look across their squad. They have quality options in almost every position. If 1 or 2 players get injured, they have replacements who can still compete at the highest level. That's exactly what separates title winners from teams fighting for 4th place. Their core players are also entering their prime years. They're no longer relying on teenagers with potential. They're relying on experienced players who have already played in title races and Champions League knockout matches. Speaking of the Champions League, yes, Arsenal will have to balance European football against the Premier League. But unlike previous seasons, they finally have enough depth to rotate their squad without massively weakening the team. That could become one of their biggest advantages over 38 games. Of course, Arsenal aren't perfect. If they lose one key player for several months, especially creative players or leaders at the back, they'll become much more easier to beat. But overall, I believe they have the most complete squad in England. That's why I'm giving Arsenal a 40% chance of winning the Premier League. Now, before we get into the second club, I would like to say sorry in advance if my voice sounds weird. I have the flu, that's why it's a bit flat, as you might say. But anyways, Manchester City is the second club. Never count them out, never. And it's probably a 36% chance on them winning this Premier League title. If there's one lesson football has taught us over the past decade, it's this: never write off Manchester City. Even with changes to the coaching staff, City remains one of the strongest squads in world of football. Their biggest strength has always been control. Very few teams can dominate possession like Manchester City. They don't just attack, they suffocate opponents. When City are at their best, they make other teams chase the ball for 90 minutes. That style of football wins league titles because consistency is everything. Another major advantage is experience. Almost every important player in this squad has already played under pressure. They've won league titles, domestic cups, European trophies. They know how to respond after losing a match. That's something many younger squads still need to learn. Manchester City recruitment has also been smart. Instead of completely rebuilding the squad, they focus on refreshing key areas while keeping their identity intact. However, this is why I have Arsenal slightly ahead. The managerial transition, no matter how talented the squad was or how the squad is, changing managers always brings uncertainty. Players need time to adapt. The manager needs time to build relationships. New tactical ideas don't always work immediately. That's why I think City could drop a few more points than usual during the first half of the season. Another challenge is the number of competitions they'll play. The Premier League, the Champions League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, possibly the FIFA World Cup depending on scheduling. That's a huge workload. Fortunately for City, they probably have the deepest squad in England, so rotation isn't as big as a concern. For me, Manchester City remains Arsenal's biggest rival. I'm giving them a 36% chance of winning the league. Now for my surprise pick, Chelsea. I don't think Chelsea are favorites, but I absolutely think they have a chance. Why? Because talent has never been Chelsea's problem. Their squad is filled with exciting young players. They've spent heavily over the last few transfer windows. And when everything clicks, they can beat almost anyone. Their attacking options are among the best in the league. Their midfield is full of energy and creativity, and their squad depth is so much better than it was 2 years ago. So why aren't they my favorites? Because I still have questions. Can they stay consistent for an entire season? Can they handle the pressure of competing for the title? Can their young players deliver every single week? Those are questions that haven't been answered yet. There are also other concerns. Chelsea lost Marc Cucurella this summer. Now Cucurella wasn't a right back. He was their first choice left back. Replacing a player like him isn't easy. He contributed both defensively and offensively, especially with his movement and ability to support attacks. If Chelsea don't replace that quality quickly, they could lose some balance on the left side. Of over 38 games, small weaknesses become big problems. Another factor is European football. Chelsea will also be competing in Europe, meaning more travel, more matches, and more opportunities for injuries. They certainly have enough depth to rotate, but title-winning teams usually have very few weaknesses. Chelsea still have a couple. That's why I see them as outsiders rather than favorites. If everything goes perfectly, they could challenge for the title. But I think they're more likely to finish inside the top 4. I'm giving Chelsea a 12% chance of winning the Premier League. So for my final predictions, after looking at the squad, the managers, the depth, the tactical styles, and the challenges each club will face this season, my final prediction, Arsenal at first for them to win the league is about 40%, Manchester City at second about 36%, Chelsea at third at 12%, and then we have Liverpool at 8%, then Tottenham at 3%, and everyone else less than 1%. I believe Arsenal has the most complete squad. Manchester City has the experience. Chelsea has the potential to surprise everyone. The Premier League is never predictable. Every season brings unexpected injuries, surprise signings, and teams that completely exceed expectations. That's why we love this league. But if I had to make my prediction today, Arsenal are my pick to become Premier League champions. Now I want to hear from you though. Who do you think will win the Premier League this season? Do Arsenal defend their title? Can Manchester City return to the top? Or will another club shock the football world? Let me know your predictions down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on notifications for more Premier League predictions, football analysts, and transfer news. And I'll see you guys in the next one.